Six Gun Productions. New media, new rules.
This is Geek News Radio. Broadcast 52 for Sunday, December 17th, 2017. HOTAS for life.
You're listening to Geek News Radio, episode 52. I'm Fab from Hamburg.
And I'm your boy Slippers in Birmingham.
The boy Slippers. Slippers! It's been
back.
2 years.
It has. It's oh god, 2 years really. Jesus.
So I'll drink to that.
Me too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm drinking a Klüvers Lager. It's a craft beer. And it says, ein Klüver geht immer.
What does that mean?
A Klüver always goes. I don't know, you can always drink. It's a big...
I love those slogans. They're just like, yeah, just the slow descent into alcoholism. That's fine.
Yeah. Is this always drink responsibly? This tastes weird. I was drinking the pills earlier, and the pills was definitely better. Tastes a bit like the fish died in there.
Oh, that's bad. Is that intentional?
I don't
Is it
know.
supposed to taste like that?
We'll see when I drink the second bottle. And if I can still tell. Yes, so...
I have an old-fashioned because...
Oh, I didn't, sorry.
Why break a tradition?
Yeah, why break with that? True. So this is all a bit weird. So this is episode 52. And as you might be used to by now, as we are recording this, 51 isn't out. So we're recording this on Tuesday, the 5th of December, and actually I could, I've got the week off.
Yeah,
So I could just put it out, but I thought I'd wait a few days because we just put one out on Sunday, I think.
Yeah, I mean, people beg for more content, but, at some point, there is too much to Geek News Radio.
Content is coming, don't worry. It's just so we put out GNR 50 on the 2nd, and then on the 3rd, actually, GNR turned 2 years old. And this is 52. We do an episode every 2 weeks, so you can tell 52 episodes, that's 2 years for us. And I think we've got another one planned before we end the year.
Yeah, we do. We've got one more planned.
What was that?
The 2017 year in review episode.
Let me pull up the sheet, yeah.
Where we're going to look back at our predictions that we made.
Did we make predictions?
We did make predictions, and boy, was I wrong.
Have you looked that up already?
I did, yeah.
Can you
I'm
look
not
up
gonna mention
mine?
them now because I'm going to
Yeah. Can you look up mine too?
Yeah, I can do.
Oh, that's good. I don't have to do the work. Why are we doing predictions? That just creates work for next year.
Yes, but that's fine. So long as we have them in the show notes so they're easily accessible.
Is
fine. Because I don't remember if we did them for the year before.
No, I don't think so. I think we were talking about that last year. I can remember this exact discussion because we didn't, because that was episode 2.
Yeah,
and we didn't really know if we were doing this.
Some prime content.
Yeah, I think you said that last time as well, in exactly the same.
Oh God,
I don't know. It must be what? So what episode was that?
Last year, so I'd say it's roughly
30.
episode 20.
No, 30 is January. 29, 6th of December. A drink recipe from. No, can't be it. So that was when Char was on. Not 20. Maybe we did that before. Maybe 28.
I don't know.
I don't see any predictions. What the hell's going on? Did I put that out in January? That would have been weird. Was it episode 30? Yeah, it was. So we put that out 20th of January for some reason.
Okay.
So we did it in the beginning of the year. last year. Well, who cares? Let's break it up. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not looking at that now, but I see I put it in the show notes, so I saved us a lot of work there.
Yeah,
it's good.
On this episode, we got a shit ton of news.
Yeah, I just want to talk about some stuff quickly, but that was stuff to mention. Yeah,
many things. You're going on a deep space mission.
I am on a deep space mission. I'm actually I'm trying to suppress the urge to be in Elite right now.
I saw you on Elite earlier today. I celebrated Warhammermas 2017. And then I'm going to waffle about Netrunner probably because I wrote a blog post that was incredibly clickbaity.
You fooled me because I would have never expected clickbait from you bastard. This is the only reason it tricked me because it was you.
Well, I was so tempted to do the kind of ask a question that's obviously wrong. The thing. What's his face?
Oh God!
Goodrich's law.
What?
Goodrich's
No,
law?
Bedridge's.
That's
law.
the one.
Yeah.
That guy. I think I'm merging him and Good Godwin's.
Goodrich's law. Yeah, I like that. That's asking a question about Hitler. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Was Hitler really a good person?
There we go. That's like the perfect example. So yeah, there's that, and then there's like buckets of feedback. So.
Yeah. So lots of content. Shall we start with the news?
Yeah, start with the news because that's never going to get old. That's so good.
It sounds surprisingly good.
It does. It's like it. What do you? So when you're playing it, you just like playing random chords.
Yeah. I think it's just because I can actually play those chords.
Okay.
As opposed to on the guitar where there's more strings.
That's true. Yeah. You're playing all of the appropriate chords rather than like, man, the fingering's right, but I am playing all of the strings.
Yeah. Actually, I need to learn more chords, but yeah.
Works.
It's growing.
More. Yeah, you're learning a lesson, Fab.
That's good. This beer's horrible. Shit.
Open the next one, see if it's the same.
No. Gotta pull through now. I'll get so the listeners will know. Gotta keep some for the rest of the show. Some content. Anyway, sorry, yeah, EA.
So we kind of skipped the controversy because it's not tremendously relevant to our lives. But
no, because we don't play Battlefront, whatever.
Battlefront 2.
EA's battle thing.
The Star Wars game that is incorrectly numbered from EA.
Why is it incorrectly numbered? It's the second one.
Well, because they've had Battlefront 2 already.
But
they did
but not Star Wars Battlefront.
No, they did. They did Star Wars Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront 2 back in like the early noughties.
What, really?
Yep. And they were great. They were a lot nicer and kind of, I don't know, not necessarily nicer, but kind of more game, less polish. I feel.
See, I care so little about this that I didn't even know that.
So breaking news: Fab doesn't pay attention to Star Wars.
No! I loved Jedi Knight. Those were great games. It's just like these were bullshit.
Third-person shooter. Yeah, they probably weren't tremendously interested in them.
Yeah.
So basically,
loved X-Wing was TIE Fighter, and X-Wing and TIE Fighter.
I never really played those, to be honest. I played like a friend's version of one of those things on like a GameCube.
I really liked what was the other one? Rebel Alliance, where you were basically you're flying like a Millennium Falcon kind of thing. You were like a trader.
I was never into Star Wars.
Well, X-Wing was good, and then TIE Fighter was brilliant because they didn't care. Like that was actually a game where it was like the hardest in the beginning because you were starting in the TIE Fighter. You were just like random TIE Fighter pilot dude, and you just basically had to survive. You didn't have any shields and anything, and it was like really hard. And everybody and then you had this amazing power curve where you became like you were advancing in rank, but you also were like inducted in the inner circle of the Emperor. And so you had like a uniform and you were getting medals, and I love that shit. Like I love uniforms. It had like it was like on a dress thing, it was like in your room and you could look in your uniform. But then you had like your right lower arm had like you were getting tattoos for like your inner circle thing. So you had like a picture of like your arm with your uniform sleeve rolled up. And so this was kind of supposed to be secret, like other people didn't see this. And then you got like a small tattoo, and then it would go bigger, like it would like progressively get bigger and then cover your whole arm. So, and then while in the beginning you were just trying.
So it was Far Cry 3.
I have no idea. I don't know. I stopped playing Far Cry after the first one. And you could like at first you had just to survive, but later you could call in like reinforcements. And that was like the amazing thing. You were like, this was such a great thing. You were on a mission and you would go like, surrender now, rebel scum. Now you would like, they would fight you, and then you would push like the reinforcement button, and you had to like survive for 2 minutes or whatever. And then like Star Destroyers would jump into the system, and all these hundreds of TIE fighters came out like helping you. And then you hear the radio, you know, surrender now, rebel scum. It was great.
Yeah,
that was
see,
a great
like, everyone has like these amazing tales of the early Star Wars games. So people have it with like Star Wars Galaxies, the MMO, or they have it with like X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, or like you with TIE Fighter. And I just don't have that. I never really played Star Wars games for some reason, because I was like massively into Star Wars as a kid. I had the gold VHS box set stuff.
Oh yeah, I had that too.
I watched them until like they broke.
Yeah, me too.
But I just didn't like. I don't know. No one ever bought me the games. I just didn't know they existed because I didn't really like read about games as a kid. And I've tried going back to them since. Like I've tried playing the RPG that you mentioned. Oh god, the name escapes me.
Rebel Alliance, but that wasn't an RPG.
No.
KOTOR,
yeah, and KOTOR 2. I've tried those, and I just like I can see exactly why people like it, but I go, man, this is
these days you can't really write. It's not
ropey. You're like, I can see that Mass Effect came out of these games.
Yeah, it doesn't really hold up these days.
Now, which is a shame. But the controversy with Battlefront 2, the new version,
back to the point. Meanwhile, back at the point.
Stop rat holing. Is that progress online in the multiplayer, because it's a predominantly multiplayer shooter. The campaign is like 4 or 6 hours long. The controversy is that progress in the multiplayer is hidden behind loot boxes, essentially, so that you want to unlock like hero characters because you kind of play as like a grunt person, and then you want to play as like Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker at some point, or like Yoda or Count Dooku or whatever. You have to unlock those, and you have to unlock their abilities, and they are obtained through random loot boxes.
My god,
a motorbike.
There's outside. A car in your room again.
There's a motorbike literally like outside our door. That's very loud. And the problem with that is that like they're just really expensive in terms of the amount of time you have to put into them to get like enough in-game like bison dollars or whatever you want to call them to buy them with in-game currency, and they cost a fair amount of real world money as well. There was a big Reddit thing because some people did some classic Reddit maths, incorrect maths, to say, oh man, it would take like 80 hours to unlock one character. People like they patched it pretty quick. And
apparently they got a phone call from Disney, from like it wasn't the head of Disney, right? Or was it the head of Disney? Some guy higher up.
Some person at Disney
grabbed his golden phone.
Yeah, saying fucking sort it out, and they sort of have.
You can't buy him anymore, right? That's the biggest. Like,
but it's and yeah, that's that. That's kind of it. I think loot boxes are kind of shit. I don't know. I've gone around. Like, I'm so torn in every way because loot boxes. Coming into this, I thought, man, loot boxes, they're fine if they're just like cosmetic things like in Overwatch. And they're not okay if they're like gating actual game mechanics. But then now I'm kind of thinking that's like a really artificial kind of stance. And that like actually for some people, not me, but there are people who really enjoy the game mechanic of cosmetic things. and gating that behind loot boxes is a problem. And it kind of buys into this whole kind of weird ethical issue about whales in games. So if people aren't familiar, in sort of free-to-play games, most people don't end up spending any money, or they spend like a pittance. But some people like plow in loads of money.
Not only in free-to-play games, like there were a few stories recently, like Mass Effect 3 multiplayer.
Yeah, so it's
people spend like $10,000 on.
Generally in free-to-play games, because they're far more numerous, people spend thousands of pounds or dollars or euros on kind of fundamentally pointless shit. And you can rationalize it that, they're adults probably and they made a conscious decision. But, maybe there's more of a problem. Maybe they have issues that they can't really deal with. And they can't actually afford it. And then that's kind of like, at what point does this get like, serious ethical issue that people should be doing it? That's that one section of the issue. Another one is that like this is in like a £55 game. So that's what many euros. Brexit joke. And so this is kind of like you've got a full price game, and then you've got like the loot boxes on top of it, which is like a bit egregious. Because they're kind of trying to do that whole game as a service thing, which I don't. When you consider like how quickly like support for them drops off, like, it's clearly not a service in a kind of Destiny kind of way. In that, like, what was Destiny out for like 2-3 years, and the game got reinvented every kind of couple of expansions, and it was very clearly like you buy the game and then there's like £6 a month or whatever to get the DLC. Where this is like, okay, buy the random loot packs and the map packs.
Well, there's other examples. For example,
that's the
Elite
kind of
is clearly a service game,
and then kind of leading out of that, various places like Belgium and Hawaii and stuff have been sort of examining loot boxes,
and the UK, like some UK gambling.
Yeah, basically, that people are pointing out that these are fundamentally gambling.
Actually, I talked about this on Heise, and apparently in Germany it's not. Because apparently in Germany, the legal definition of gambling is that you win money, which I find utter bullshit.
Yeah, that's kind of it.
I didn't know that. And when somebody said that, like on the show, I was like, that's weird.
Letter of the law, and it's not gambling.
And the more I think about it, that's a really dumb, arbitrary line.
Yeah, meaning of the law, it's definitely gambling. It's definitely bullshit. And like, especially kids. Like, this is like a super weird thing to expose kids to kind of like normalize gambling, which I don't know. I feel like it's potentially bad because gambling is generally bad because, you're going to be like, some people go to Vegas and they drop $1,000 and they're like, oh, it's a great time. It's fantastic. And they can like control themselves. But equally, like bookies and people who run casinos and people who run gambling websites clearly make money. Like, the house always wins because they pay very talented and smart mathematicians to win.
Dave, we're in the wrong business.
We are in the wrong business, but we're in the ethically less dubious business. I have a friend who works at a website gambling thing, and they pay well. And they're like, oh, come work for us. I'm like, no, I draw the line somewhere. And I think that's
you're more ethical than me. I think I would have said yes.
I would not work in gambling. So yeah, that's where EA is, and out of that, EA's stock lost $3 billion.
Yeah, that's I like that. That's good. That's good.
Which maybe will be like chalked up as a victory for capitalism.
I think they're still in the plus for this year. Which tells you how much money they make on cosmetics for The Sims and FIFA Ultimate Team.
It's
which is, by the way, where they do the same shit. I mean, FIFA Ultimate Team is exactly the same. I think this is where it comes from.
Yes.
It's probably more of an issue and less people talking about that.
There is more of an issue maybe around.
Yeah, it's lots of kids playing FIFA as well.
Yeah. So Ultimate Team is, people don't know, it's basically kind of like a sticker book kind of thing for kind of like the online multiplayer of FIFA. So like you buy booster packs that contain like players in them, and then you can use them in your Ultimate Team. And then obviously like better players are rarer and all that jazz. And that I'm still like, ooh, that's a bit weird that kids are like spending loads of money on it.
But it's the same as with sticker books,
But
right?
it's exactly the same as things like sticker books and things like Magic the Gathering, which I would argue are not necessarily harmful. Maybe because there's like more parental oversight there. I don't know. In that, like, you know, a lot of parents grew up also with sticker books.
I think it's also maybe because if your kid buys like a ton of Magic the Gathering cards, they're laying around somewhere. So everybody, like, you know, the kids and the parents see it.
Yeah.
Whereas you can probably spend £1,000 on FIFA and you don't know because
yeah. And I mean, you know, you're gonna have people maybe arguing that there's like a resale value to Magic cards. Like, if you are smart about it, you can kind of break even on opening booster boxes and stuff like that. So there's kind of all that weird stuff that, like, this whole thing kind of made me rethink, and maybe I'm like, randomization's it's a bit predatory. Maybe we shouldn't do it. So lots of people are kind of hailing this big thing on stock and them removing aspects of it as kind of like a big win for removing loot boxes from games. And I don't know. I think that mobile games still make so much from this kind of stuff that it's going to stick around until there's like legal things. But we know how slow government is to decide anything.
And we don't want government oversight because that never works. They don't understand this shit.
It's wrong. Although, you know, like, gambling laws are pretty strict and they're not perfect, but they're better than naught. So that's, I don't know. Yeah,
but I don't.
I think that hopefully just like the publisher fear of backlash from consumers will be enough just to
$3 billion.
Yeah, just steer them in the right direction through kind of like through market forces, not through legal means.
That's hilarious.
Which is, I guess, is the centrist way. I don't know. Am I a centrist dad? I think I am. Except
you're
not
not.
a dad.
I'm probably. But...
Oh man, I think the thing about centrist dads is that we're all centrist dads. That everyone is a centrist.
No, you're
dad.
fucking progressive, man.
I'm all about free market. Probably. I don't know. Apart from when I want to nationalize everything.
Speaking of, that's what I mean. Speaking of things that are funny. So turns out crack hacker dudes at the NSA are same as us. And they take their work home with them, even though they're not allowed to. Yes. In this case, cutting edge spyware. Yes. Which then Kaspersky picked up because they have Kaspersky running on their PC as well. What? At home. And then Kaspersky uploaded this because it's new malware. It's uploaded to the server. And then apparently Kaspersky went, whoa, this is like secret NSA shit. Delete it quick. And what they say in reality is like, send it to Putin.
Or like, oh no, we've uploaded it to VirusTotal and now everyone has it.
Yeah, I don't think they did that.
Well, you never know. But
I think people would have figured it out by now.
That's true. Yeah, maybe back channels and stuff rather than.
Well, it's like if like cutting edge spy was. It's not like the BBC News are what they say. Oh, it's all this hacker stuff lying around. If actually like spy Trojans turn up, people can tell because they're
competently designed.
Yeah, they're a lot better than like that normal like. Criminal shit. It's like when that back, what Eternal Blue or whatever is like. People tend to find out that's like CIA NSA shit because the source code comments are in proper English mostly.
The person in question pleaded guilty basically to fucking up.
Yeah. I just like that gives a human touch to this crack NSA hackers, man. It's brought it home.
I just know that like on like day one of the project when they were introduced to this stuff, it was like, and we do not take it home. We do not put it on USB sticks, and then like get to their desk and it's like everyone's doing it.
Zone out completely.
Just like, sign the paperwork, whatever.
So like all what was that in the UK now? All the Tory guys on Twitter's like, I don't have like a password for like I ask my staff all the time because I forget my password.
Basically, is it Nadine Dorris? I think is her name. Basically, was like defending password reuse. Well, not even reuse, just password sharing amongst people, and it's just fucking shameful.
Yeah, I give my car to 4-year-olds that want to drive all the time. Everybody does it.
Like, oh, it's just ridiculous, and it's bonkers that you have like the complete like different like levels of competency just like in the world right now, because like you got like RMPs who clearly know nothing, and then Troy Hunt is like testifying in Congress or whatever about like data leaks, or like, whoa, like.
It's
Clearly the wrong people are in the wrong places.
I find this completely weird. It struck me, right? So there's a lot of people that are older and like completely satisfied with like being computer illiterate. And if you're a private person, you know, whatever floats your boat. But if you're like a politician, you're running a fucking country. This is like, I don't know. Was that ever the same? Like, I don't like. It's like when cars came up, like were invented, you know, were there people like, no, I don't know what a car is, I don't know how it works, I don't want one. I'm just keep driving with them around, going around on my horse.
I guess you had the Luddites in Britain who were like,
oh, that's where the name comes from, right?
This mechanical loom, this is bad. Clearly, this is the downfall.
Wasn't it just like industry? Was it just World War I and World War II who just like got rid of that? Because the Germans, they were clearly driving cars.
I don't know. Like the World Wars clearly trained a lot of people in technologies they would never have been exposed to.
It's like Churchill would have been. Yeah, I'm running the country. No, I don't believe in these tanks. They're obviously ridiculous. We're gonna do everything on horses.
Exactly, yeah. Like, you know, clearly there were people there who were being paid attention to, and the common person as well was being exposed more to, like, you know,
like the German bombs dropping from the sky. There must be something about rocket propulsion there.
Equally, like, people working in manufacturing, like, you know, a war economy, more people working in manufacturing of advanced technology, and, you know, more people working in communications and stuff like that.
So what we are saying is we need a world cyber war.
We do need a world cyber war.
To drive this point home. I like how you immediately going into the nerd voice when you say world cyber war.
Cyber war. So I was just like, this is kind of like where I'm thinking about like that whole like threat model of like just password reuse and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to say there's a technological solution because that's not always the right thing. But I feel that like things like fingerprint ID and face ID are vaguely in the right direction. I know like there are flaws to it, right? The flaw is that like, you know, you can spoof them, right? Targeted attacks can spoof them, but equally targeted attacks can spoof passwords. You can do that.
Yeah, but you can change then. You can't change your fingerprints.
Yeah, there's also that. There's the whole argument that like the fingerprints are like usernames, not passwords, because you can't like, yeah, you can't change them. But equally, they do stop a different kind of thing. Like you can't share your fingerprint easily, and you can't share your kind of like 3D scan of your face easily. And I just wonder if there's like a better technological solution to people not just fucking it up consistently and forever. I don't know. But you gotta think that like there needs to be like a better, not onboarding, just like more. I don't want to say more paperwork. I don't want to say practices and systems.
People need to get their shit together. It's like having a password and remembering it is like not that hard. Like these people, they're not home. Whatever they want to do when they're home with their private data, I don't give a fuck. But if they're running the government, they just gotta try harder. I mean, most of these people have at least like 2 different identities for mistresses in 2 cities, which they can keep up. You know, there were just this thing coming out now, like about Kohl in Germany and his like black accounts. Like they could remember all this stuff when they were like running away with our money.
Yeah, so getting them to use KeyPass and a YubiKey wouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that politicians these days are too lazy.
Yeah, the argument, they're running in the country, we don't have time for this nerd shit, is like, it's not really how things work.
Yeah, because it's not nurtured anymore. It's like
life skills.
yeah, it's just what you need to do now to run the fucking country.
Yes.
Although I'm saying that, and like Merkel probably doesn't use a computer. I'm sure she does like everything on paper.
She takes the Richard Stallman approach. She gets someone else to look at the webpage.
Does have like a BlackBerry, like losing that a lot, but yeah, that's about it. I think she still use T9 on it or something. Looks like it when you see her like typing out shit. I don't know.
Fair. You've got something about like an elite dangerous player who was flying a ship that doesn't exist. What?
No. This is great. So Hutton Orbital claimed another one. You know about Hutton Orbital? We talked about this.
Yeah.
This thing, I don't know where it came from. But like, there's this thing about Hutton Orbital when you go there, because it takes like an hour to get there.
Yeah,
something like just fly through the system, and he flew like 6 hours because he was coming from somewhere else.
Right.
So there's this thing that when you get there, you get a free Anaconda. Okay. And Anaconda is fucking expensive. Like when I went for this deep space mission now, I was thinking I sold a lot of my other ships, and I could have barely, after like years of playing Elite, well, I'm not playing hardcore, but I've played a lot, could have barely afforded an Anaconda.
Right.
But I didn't, because I needed to upgrade it, and I didn't have money for that, so I bought another ship. But it's really expensive. It's like, 146 million, I think? I don't know. So there's no free Anaconda at Hutton Orbital. And this guy went there.
Damn.
And then figured out there's no free Anaconda.
Oops.
Well, it's like Hutton Orbital is like an outpost, isn't it? You have a shipyard there. Like if you do some research and you know what you're looking at, which if you're a new player, obviously don't. You could have figured that out. Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Other things that are unfortunate. Linux Journal shuts down.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want to mention that. I never read Linux Journal. I don't know.
It was one of those ones that like you get linked to on like things. Just like, here is like a kind of in-depth thing of like something I didn't know about previously.
Yeah, but I don't even have that much. Like LWN I got mostly, but
yeah, exactly. It's like one of those things that like you end up in like a rabbit hole linking off from LWN. Like you never end up going. I don't know. I never ended up going there frequently, but basically they ran out of money.
Yeah.
It's because Linux nerds don't pay for things.
Yeah. This is. I believe that is true. That's why the H shut down, mostly. Also because they couldn't, like, there was some other factors, but mostly you can't make money with open source because there's only basically one company that has enough money to have ads on your site, which is Red Hat, and they don't need ads on your site. And then there is still Canonical, but really there's only Red Hat. Funnily enough, one of the guys who founded Red Hat also founded Linux Journal.
Oh, wow.
Which one was it? Was it Young?
I don't know.
Bob
I
Young?
didn't know that at all.
God, now I have to look this up. Linux Journal. Wikipedia. Founded by Phil Hughes and Bob Young. Bob Young was the guy with the red hat, I believe. Isn't that the guy who lost the Red Hat, which is the company's called Red Hat? I'm pretty sure.
And wow, Linux Journal was founded in 1994.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was probably before Red Hat. When was Red Hat founded? 80. No, he found no. When was Red Hat founded? Red Hat.
93.
What?
93.
Okay, so
Couldn't have been much earlier, because
92 was like kind of when the kernel came up, right?
Yeah. Well, it's sad. Like, I don't think it's going to affect me in my daily life.
He also is one of the principal owners of the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Really?
Yeah, a Canadian Football League franchise.
That is a very strange thing to invest in.
He bought those. No, why? It's not. It's like, who was there's a tech guy who owns doesn't Bill Gates own a fucking
See? I don't know.
basketball? Like, there's lots of tech guys who own Why is that? It's like print money. You know,
I suppose, yeah. Like, from maybe from an investment kind of.
Unless you're the Pittsburgh Pirates, probably not. But yeah,
from an investment perspective, yeah, it makes sense. But it's just like, did they actively do that, or did they get like their financial advisor to tell them to do that?
I don't know. I think it's a good idea. Why you need a good guy who runs the team? You know, if your team's shit,
you
then
want to be
you're
like a hands-off person. You want to have the money, invest it, and then just rake in the profit.
I think that's how it works.
So that's it. When I have my Patreon millions, I'll be buying Ferrari.
Dave, I'm working on that. The blog's up, so I'm working on that. Although I don't support you buying a Ferrari. Ferrari's a shit.
No, I'm buying Ferrari, the company.
Oh, Ferrari, the company. Well, that's a good idea. I think I can get behind that. We can get them. We can
with the mafia.
We can get them to make good cars that can corner.
That is a hot take.
Maybe get some engineers from, I don't know, what do you get in
literally any other Formula 1
for good cornering.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Formula 1 cars are corner quite good. I meant the normal.
I mean, they're not. They're just distinctly mediocre.
Get some Lamborghini guys in. I mean, they know how. Although they lost their way. They're building an SUV now. Have you seen that?
Yeah, it's not nice, is it?
It looks like every other SUV. It's a fucking joke.
It's horrible. Yeah, it's just like sports car people stop doing this. This is the Porsche one. They need to stop doing that.
There are several Porsche ones, and they're like normal Porsches are bad, but those are just horrible.
I don't know. I think some of them look all right, but like
they look like fucking the bread rolls on wheels. That's that the fat guy sat on. That's what they look like. They're horrible. They're not fast. Like they're way too heavy. You can't go off road because they just sink. Because they weigh like 2.5 tons. You can't park them anywhere. Like in Isernhagen, like lots of our neighbors had them, and like so like the guy next to my parking spot. So I'm parking like the Guzzi there, and he bought he had the good racing Porsche, not the 911, the one with the motor in the middle, called Panamera or something. I don't know. He had one of those, and then he got a kid, and so he had to buy a family Porsche. It's like the SUV. And I swear to God, it had like 0.5 centimeter roof clearance under one of the beams, like under one of the concrete beams. And I'm like, you better not changing the tire pressure on that car. Like,
yeah. Oh, wow.
Horrible shit. How do we get the segue from that to Django?
Well,
Django 2.0 is out.
Yeah, it is. Django 2.0 is a web framework thing for Python stuff. It's now kind of like, full release of this stuff. They've dropped some features that were deprecated. It's all very Python-y, and my Python is rusty. Oh my God, I've been reading some of the examples. I'm like, I have no idea what any of this means anymore.
Can you code it in Visual Studio?
Yeah, why are these things not strongly typed? I don't understand. It's, one of the kind of, like, I feel like coolest things. Like, I fiddled with it in the past and made very dumb test things. And it's nice. It's super easy.
Yeah, it's good
to use.
I nearly made a podcast network software in it. I failed. I think I've told the story before. Like, I was going to run 6gun on that. This was way before Podlove. And I wanted like a tailor-made thing. Mm-hmm. And it would have gone great. I had it almost everything working, and I failed at something that's very crucial for podcasts.
Is it RSS feeds?
Yeah, feed parsing.
Bingo.
And Python.
Problem.
Yeah, Python has a. The problem is, I don't know what these days, but back then Python had several libraries to do that, and like a really good one. But the problem is, so. Many people don't know this, but podcast feeds aren't standard RSS.
No.
Like there's lots of stuff that, especially iTunes does, that is like completely non-standard.
Oh yeah,
and you have to do like there's lots of edge cases. So if you run a podcast and you don't have pre-made podcast software like Podlove, I mean, we ran into this in Six Guns. Like, we can reminisce later in the show, but like, let's start with that here. So I ran into that several times. So there's like podcatchers. Now, I think these days, even though it's not a standard, it's kind of smoothed itself out.
Yeah, there's no like major new features in podcasts anymore. But like back in the beginning of them, like everyone was just sort of like bolting stuff together,
Yeah.
hoping that
And
the feed works.
this is even not that long ago. Like, we had problems like, so lots of podcatchers assume that like, so a podcast feed's basically an RSS feed with like an enclosure for, let's say, an MP3. And but it's not specified where it's supposed to go. And lots of it turns out lots of podcatchers would completely fuck up if your first enclosure isn't your MP3. So we had a point where, like, okay, we had with LO, we had problems because we had an OGG feed and an MP3 feed. I had to generate separate feeds for that because you can't put them in one because the podcatchers just explode. I had stuff where I'd linked like an MP3 file in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
And and because
I think I remember that happening.
Yeah, because of our design back then on the site, I think the download link was at the bottom of the show notes. I don't know what I was thinking. That was like stupid in hindsight. Nobody clicks on that. Anyway, but like, so it would download like whatever the other MP3 was, and I was just like linking off site to like a huge file or whatever. So people why is it downloading 600 megabytes of MP3? What's going on?
I literally did this as well. I was trying to do the opposite. I was trying to make a podcasting, not a podcatcher basically. I was trying to make one that worked and was really stupid. I wanted it to like be headless. This was back when I still used Linux and, like, you know, was keen. I wanted to
back when
like
you were young.
Have like a headless mode. I just like give it like a config file of here's all the episodes I want to have. Then, like, you know, serve them out over the network to like any device that wanted to do it. Wanted to track progress, and like all of those things are fairly easy. Like tracking progress, like it's pretty easy to kind of do vaguely if you're kind of okay with a bit of hacky solution. But then it just came to like reading the XML and being like, okay, so I've imported this podcast and it works, and now I've imported this other one and it doesn't work, and I don't know why. So I gave up. I just gave up. It's just too much effort. It's one of those things where I'm like, genuinely other people should do the work.
I didn't even get that far because I was gonna try to create a feed, and I was reading up. Like, this was back when I was a student, I had time. You know, because it was just
time. I remember
dawdling around at uni anyway. So I was coding this thing, and I was researching how you build a podcast feed, and there wasn't any good documentation. So I like kind of cobbled it together. And it's like, how am I gonna like? I'm not a good enough. I'm not a good enough coder generally. That I could, like, even in my head, get straight what I needed to do with all the edge cases. Like, it comes to a place where there's so many ifs and whatever in here.
Even just like collecting all of the edge cases and working out like what ones you're just going to give up on. Yeah,
and you think it's just going to be like, you know, it's just like XML for the show notes and then an enclosure. But no. That was
only, and then someone requests chapters.
Oh yeah, fuck those people, seriously. I mean, the only reason we have that is because now, you know, there's this German podcaster called Tim Pritlove, who is, as far as I know, the only guy in Germany who owns money with podcasts. Although I think he makes a lot of money with, like, giving talks and stuff. He's basically a consultant as well, as everybody seems to be who does this shit. But, like, he founded this open source product called Podlove. You know, he's called Podlove. I really like that. And that's basically just a WordPress plugin, but one that works. I went to 2 other before this, and like, so I had this problem when we were still doing LO and Angels of Death, that I needed. Not only did I need 2 podcasts with 2 feeds. No, one of the podcasts had 2 feeds, and like most of these WordPress plugins, they didn't conceptually had thought about that somebody could have a podcast with 2 feeds. because they didn't know about all these freedom nutters who wanted like OGG.
OGG and MP3, yeah.
Yeah, and then I had people literally like for years on Linux Outlaws, we had people requesting like Speaks and FLAC, and I'm like, FLAC? Are you fucking kidding me? It's two drunk people ranting. And you want FLAC? What are you doing? Are you playing this like on your gold cable audio setup at home? What?
I've not even thought about FLAC for like 5 years.
Okay, it's rant time, right?
Okay, I'm ready.
This like unrelated audio shit. So I was on, I was doing CT Uplink, right? The show we do at work, and I had a colleague on. And he was like, we were talking about video games. He was talking about the new Xbox, right? He had done the review of the new Xbox. And the One X or whatever it's called. And so we were talking generally, Martin, who you know, he used to play, we did play Overwatch for a bit once, right? And some, he's still there?
I'm still here, yeah,
sorry,
I'm just
I
listening.
was confused. So we used to play Overwatch and what's the football game?
Rocket League.
I'm confused now. Must be this horrible beer. This is why I'm in a ranting mood as well. It's fucking shitty fish beer, whatever this is. So we are talking about video games, and Martin is like, we're like engaged about video games, and what was it? Gears of War, I think. So this colleague, I won't name him. It's like, well, it's a bad. I don't think it's a good game. And Martin would go, what do you mean? It's like, it looks great. Look at this. It's like not my kind of game, but it reviews well. No, they completely fucked up the was it Dolby? What's that thing? It's not like
Pro Logic.
No. What's the Dolby?
Oh, that yeah.
I don't Atmos. It's so unrelevant to my life that I can't even remember what it's called. So he was like, they fucked that up. So it's a shit game. And Martin would go like, who cares about this? Like, we only know one guy who has an Atmos setup, and that's literally our colleague who like writes about this shit. And then this other colleague goes, no, I have one too. And I'm like, great, you're two people in Germany. And then he keeps going on about this Atmos thing, right? Which is like, they have this in cinemas now as well, which is like, it's like 10 speakers or something. And I'm like, I can't even 5.1. I can't even like I said, what's my wife gonna say if I put speakers everywhere? And that's not to blame my wife. She'd be completely right. Like, It can't possibly be that good that I'm gonna ruin my whole living space and run cables everywhere. What the fuck? Like, I'm okay with mono, for fuck's sake. I don't even need stereo. Like, this podcast is only in stereo because people pestered me on LO for years.
But to have stereo. And then I'm one of the people who's like, man,
you prefer mono?
Just because I'm that guy who like will have one earbud in.
Well, this works with this as well because I didn't
like
separate.
Some podcasts don't.
No, don't like you can do stereo. This is stereo, right? So basically, what this should do, if I mixed it correctly, which I probably haven't, is I do this, go from left to right on the mic. Does that even work on a mono mic? That should kind of work. It basically what it does, it sounds a bit more atmospheric. But I'm not separating the channels into different earbuds because people only have one earbud in. If you're doing that with a podcast, you're doing it wrong. What the fuck?
Exactly.
Anyway, audio shit. I hate it. So, Dave, do you want the mono feed?
I want the mono feed in FLAC, please.
No, Speaks.
No, actually, can I have in ALAC, the Apple wireless audio encoder, please?
Oh, God. ALAC.
Yeah.
A Dolby Atmos.
Oh, yeah, can I get the 5.1 mix?
So I was completely like, this colleague said they completely ficked. I say ficked, I'm already talking German. They completely fucked up the Atmos mix. Like, I bet you can watch that Uplink episode because it's a video show, and they probably were showing my face at the time in close up. You can probably see me losing faith in humanity, right? And then
sighing loudly
again, go like, what? Anyway, where were we? How did we get to that? Django.
We were talking about random web shit. Yeah, Django's out. People build some cool website stuff.
And it only
Supports Python 3.4,
yeah.
5, and 6.
Right.
And so that's basically like any sort of relevant Django now doesn't support Python 2.7, which is great because, man, they were
That's
trying
like
to
10
move away
years
from,
old, isn't it?
They were trying to move away from Python 2.7 when I was learning Python.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and they're still not doing it very
It
well.
was in 1998, wasn't it?
I know I still write stuff that technically depends on Python 2.7, so it'll never die. It's dead. What's not dead though is the podcast, and it's not been dead for 2 years. Boom.
Now we're going into the topics. Oh, that was wrong. Brang.
All kinds of wrong.
You can also play wrong chords on the ukulele, it turns out. I'm getting this beer is affecting everything. It's turning everything to shit.
This is where we find out it's actually poisonous. You can like go to the supermarket and there's gonna be like a little notice pinned up. We're recalling this batch of beer. It's contaminated with like
Lead.
something horrible. Yeah,
Lead.
just like nickel.
Nuclear
Yeah,
waste.
polonium.
Oh god. I'm gonna puke my brains out and die.
No, it's like a teeny tiny, just enough to make you go a bit crazy.
Well, I'm okay with that. I've got experience in that. You probably wouldn't even notice. Yes, the podcast 2 years old, which is quite frankly quite amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all sorts of things have happened recently that have reminded me that 2 years have passed, and I'm not okay with it. Generally, because I had like the 2-year anniversary of work, and that's like, oh god. I remember joining the company and feeling like people in my position were super senior and knew what they were doing. But it turns out, nope.
Yeah, that happens everywhere, Dave.
Turns out that's not a thing that ever happens. And yeah, we've been
I
doing
remember when I joined my work, and I was like, "Wow, they know what they're doing." 5 years later, nope.
2 years later as well, no one at work has called me out for doing the podcast, which is good.
They're not listening, luckily.
Thank God.
What did I see the other day? Was it XCOM, which uses scale form?
Yeah, lots of things use
It
it.
does. That's good.
Yeah, it's because it's
I always think of you when I see that.
man, like so many people now do. They're like, oh yeah,
That's Dave
thing.
right there.
I'm like,
So you
that
have
is
nothing to do with that product. But
literally not my job. Also, it just does like the menus. And then
menus
people,
are
like,
important.
people like end up blaming me when like the game doesn't work in a joking way, but like a lot of people do it now. They're like, oh man, this thing that uses Autodesk software doesn't work. I'd better send a screenshot to Dave.
I like that. That's good. Dave, I gotta say the menus are amazing. The Tomb Raider menus, you did excellent work on that.
Batman
I
menus
mean,
are tip top.
My God.
Damn fine menus. We
So
have the
good.
best menus. So yeah, 2 years.
No, it's all good, all well and good char writing like half of Divinity, you know.
Yeah.
But you're doing
work
the
for a
menus,
company
mate.
that bought a company that made software, and that's the important thing. So yeah, but 2 years, and it's like 3 since we vaguely planned it.
Yeah, it was a year. Oh yeah, I wrote a blog post about this, how it didn't turn out
Yeah,
as I
it's
planned
been
it.
a completely different plan, but it's been fun nonetheless.
Just keep it going. I think we should keep it going. I like it.
Keep it going, yeah. I very early on in the 2 years decided that this podcast was going to make it to at least 100. Because I numbered the show notes with a trailing 0.
God, yes, you're still
BB
doing
0.
that. Even I made this document, and you kept changing that.
So peek behind the curtain, pretty much like I'd say like 75% of the episodes, Fab will make the show notes first. Technically, it's a running order, not the show notes, but I call them show notes.
No, I think it's 50-50 by now.
And Fab will always make it GNR and then the number of the episode. So it'll be like GNR 52. And then like 5 minutes after I get like he's made it, I'll then just like sneakily come in and it's like GNR 052. Just so that when we get to episode 100, it doesn't break the sorting.
I think Google Docs is sorting it by date anyway.
Because I've got it sorted by I've got it sorted by name because at some point we broke the sorting by age, I think. I don't know. Like, if you do it by last modified, I don't know. Yeah, so like if you go like, this is super, like no one can check this, but if you like sort by last modified and then go right to the bottom, episode 10 is below episode 8.
Okay,
and I can't handle that.
because I touched the show.
Yeah, so like if you accidentally like go in and double like check something and like, oh no, now you've edited it, it's like, no, put it in bring down mode. So yeah, I sort by name, so the naming scheme sticks. So we have to do another 48 episodes just that.
I'm okay with that. I think we should. Now we're at 50. Might as well at least get to 100.
Yeah, that's like proven pod fade not to happen.
I still want to, I just want to keep it going. I like the show. It's not like it weren't that many, like it wasn't the rotating host thing that I'd imagined, but I don't know. I like it. And also, like you said, I mean, I don't think people at my work are listening to this, which is great. I think it's mostly because it's English and really long. And we start with really irrelevant shit, so people tune out.
Yeah, we hide the secret nuggets in the code word.
Which is probably not the best thing for a podcast.
It's fine, though, because that's exactly what I want. I want the 6-hour banter cast. Like, that's... Yeah. Like, there's a couple of, like, podcasts that are, like, vague. Like, they're dead now. They finished. And, like, at the end, they were all, like, super disenfranchised with, like, oh, man, it's just, like, 5 guys moaning about, like, not having a good enough computer. We're going to stop doing that now. I'm like, no, that's exactly what I wanted. Make it 10 hours.
Yeah. It's like, I feel with you. Also, I kind of like where it is. I mean, it doesn't have, but I think LO had about like 6,000 listeners. At the end, I think we have about 1,000.
That's
conservatively. It's still a lot more than you'd think when you listen to this. Yeah, but it's also good. Like, we don't get that much feedback. We have a nice little Discord community going. They're nice people. Yeah,
the Discord community is quietly growing.
I feel like we got rid of all the assholes. Like, not that there were many LO listeners, but I wouldn't say, well, assholes maybe a bit strong, but like, there were people who were very tiresome to have as listeners.
We got rid of the Linux users.
Probably.
We didn't. I was talking about Linux the other day.
They're difficult, Dave. They're difficult.
They demand freedom.
Yeah, they demand shit.
Files,
yeah,
and we don't want that. So yeah, like the Discord's like genuinely like at this point sometimes like the people logged in scrolls off the page, which is a nice thing, and we have massive chats, and even I'm getting lost.
It kind of brightens your work day.
It does, yeah. It's good. I'm enjoying it. It's fun times. We've had some great people on. We have like vague plans to have more people on.
Yeah, we'll do that. And we want to get rid of the Linux users, and we want the Warhammer.
Yeah, that's where the real money is.
So the people who just buy shit and don't ask too many questions.
Yeah. And that's what we want.
Keep buying shit and don't think about what they just bought because. Yeah. Oh God, Black Library had this like new Ghost book.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Which is like €120, and it has like a journal with it.
I know, it's
and a patch. I really want that patch.
They do know how to put a load of tat in a box.
Yeah, it's like totally cheap bullshit, but I still want it.
Yeah, yeah, we want the listener who's like, man, I would spend £50 on this limited edition book that's still for sale 2 years later.
And a dog tag. They're cheap to make.
And a dog tag and a cloth map. And just like all that stuff. But,
yeah.
God, dude, I'm just thinking about Warhammer now.
That's good. Like this is why we like this show, because we also can think about Warhammer.
That's good. Is that a segue into my weekend?
Yeah, maybe we'll do my thing afterwards. Yeah, let's move on.
Because I celebrated.
Let's end just that segment with. I think we'll keep doing the show for now.
Yeah, go on then.
But you need to give us money. Patreon's coming up.
Oh man, please no one clip together the bit where I had joked about having a Patreon.
Or my rants about Patreon.
God damn it.
This is like one of the reasons I want to do it now. Just as an in joke.
Yeah, it's like subscribe to the Patreon No, yeah. So if you don't subscribe to the Patreon, you're actually like the secret Patreon member. And that, like, you're in on the joke. It's only people who subscribe to the Patreon who aren't in on the joke.
You're destroying our... Oh, God, Dave, no, you can't say that.
But there's like a whole nother wheel in that, like, secretly people appreciate the jokes, so they
then
subscribe
they do subscribe. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's like the second inception layer of the Patreon.
Yeah.
Actually, I would like to, like, if I could do this, like, full time, I would like to. That's the other reason.
It would be really cool. I watched. I was watching the kind of like. Was it? I think it might have been the Yogscast video where they were painting a wall. And I was just thinking,
they paint Warhammer in videos now. What?
So, need
to watch this.
So it's understandable that you've missed it because, like, about a year ago, they were like, "Oh, and we're going to do some Warhammer content," and then only recently has it actually like come to fruition.
Okay.
And they were like, I was just sitting there thinking, it's literally their job just to like have a chat and paint Warhammer.
We could do this.
We could. I mean, maybe it might be a bit of a pay cut, but damn.
Well, my wife at some point will make the sick money. You know, that's why she's a doctor. And then we can do that. I just want to do that because, you know, I have a week off now. Mm-hmm. And what do? I play video games, make videos of it for Six Gun and upload that. I write blog posts, I edit podcasts. So basically, this is what I would do if I had permanently off work anyway.
Yeah, so maybe, but then like I don't know. I seem to have like a superpower. It's not really a good superpower. In that anything I enjoy, that if I'm forced to do it, I cease to enjoy immediately.
Well, of course, I wouldn't force you to do it.
But like, if I so say I was in your position and I'm going to make podcast my job, and then I'd be like, okay, to earn money, I now have to do like all this stuff that I had previously enjoyed. I would suddenly immediately resent it more than I've resented anything.
Okay, really? Wow.
I used to really like, just like, oh man, you know, this is a cool software problem, and now I'm just like, God fucking damn computers. I have
the opposite problem. So,
really?
So one of the reasons why I become a journalist is because I really like writing. So
you write too much.
If I'm you think, how can you do that? But if I'm at work, like, and I've got massive like unpaid overtime stacking up, and like something happens with Star Citizen, I will still write the story, sometimes even when I'm not on the clock, which is dumb, because basically it's my employer just like taking advantage of me.
That's the surplus value, Fab.
But I'm like, I need to write about this. People need to know about this.
Seize the means of content production.
Yes, I'll just seize the servers. Just get me. I got the red hat already. You know, I got the Lenin hat on. I just need my need red flags. Oh, by the way, speaking of Lenin hats and red flags, in the just completely tangent, but it's this kind of show, isn't it? It's especially today. In the Steam sale, I bought too many games. Of course. And I bought a game called Tooth and Tail, which I've just played a little bit of, but it's brilliant, I think. Yeah, it's an RTS where you do not have a cursor. Your cursor is your main character, which is your HQ unit.
Okay.
Which can, like, you go where you want the other units to go, basically. And the HQ can die, but he respawns. And it's like pixel art, and it's all animals. And it's set in a kind of like Russian Revolution, Bolshevik kind of thing, where they're like all revolutionaries with flags. Wow. So your unit is like waving a flag, basically, a lot. That's your means of telling your people where to attack. Just you go there and wave a flag.
Wow,
it's great.
I see they're subscribed to the Games Workshop School of Army Design.
yeah, pretty much. And it's like, it's got like, I think it's like, I don't know if they speak Russian, but it's like, okay, so they talk, and then like it's text. Yeah, like you read the text, but it sounds like Russian. Might not be Russian. It might be just convincing, like to me, convincing Russian alike. And it's got like Russian music, like which works really well. Love it.
Really cool.
Great. Check it out.
Yeah.
We were talking about your Warhammer.
Christmas.
Speaking of Warhammer,
Yeah.
there we go.
I think I mentioned it on the previous episode.
Warhammer. No, you didn't, because I saw like your pictures.
I
was like, you
I teased
fucker.
it somewhere. I went to a kind of like. Oh my god, the vibrato on that. I went to my kind of like bi-monthly, as in it happens every other month, kind of meet up with the Sheffield lads, and we play Warhammer at Warhammer World because we're all vaguely near Nottingham.
Do you do that every 2 months?
We attempt to do it.
You go to Warhammer World every 2 months? I hate you, man. I fucking hate you. This is not fair.
I live about 1 hour and 10 minutes away from
That is
Warhammer.
not fair.
It's very nice. It's very convenient.
So there's something about that shitty town you always.
Yeah, it's
complain
close
about.
to the motorway, so you can get to Nottingham quickly. So we had organised it to do some games. We sort of slowly been ramping up because not everyone is at the situation where they can conveniently do like 1,500 points in a kind of painted, kind of super not power gaming, but in a kind of like vaguely kind of good list.
Some of your models were just base coated.
Some of them were just base coded, yeah.
I saw that.
So we got there, and it was great fun. I played 2 games in total. We had 2 tables. Like, gotta say, like the kind of like whole organizing, like reserving a table with is just super easy. There's a web form. You fill it in. They send you an email confirming.
Did you reserve that for the whole day?
Yeah.
Wow.
You can reserve they're free as well. You just say like, I'd like, a table, or in this case, I said I'd like 2. There's like 5 of us.
Did you go to Bugman's?
We did get a Bugman.
I fucking hate you, man.
First game, Rob and Icarus, friends of the show, we played a kind of a 3-player game. It was Rob and I with 750 points each, and then Icarus with 1,500 points of Imperial Guard tanks, and he destroyed us. I would give you a battle report, but basically it was pretty much that. Yeah. He finished deployment first. He got the turn roll, so he decided to go first. I had kind of my list was kind of what I would call more wholesome. I like having lots of like infantry on the board. Things with legs, generally, I go for like if it has 2 legs, it's probably not bullshit. Apart from if it's like a Titan or an Imperial Knight. So I had like Primaris Marines Captain, Lieutenant/Lieutenant, and then a Redemptive Dreadnought. And I was kind of like, okay, the only thing I have that can vaguely hurt the Baneblade is the Redemptive Dreadnought, and it's got 13 wounds. That's all right, I guess. And then so Icarus had the first turn. I attempted to seize the initiative. It failed. We were playing with pre-chapter approved rules, so I spent my command points to try to do it again. Didn't work. In his turn 1, he did 12 wounds to the Redemptive Dreadnought, made it a bit shit, and then we had a turn where we didn't really do a lot. Nothing. I think Rob actually killed some stuff. I vaguely wounded it, and then we basically called it because just nothing could scratch the Baneblade. That was disappointing. I also bought Shadespire, even though I said I didn't want it.
I was just gonna say on the show we after we talk haven't released yet. You said that, last week.
Yeah,
I don't know what they put in the air there at Warhammer World, but it's amazing.
There is evidence I could probably get from WhatsApp that says that I went there planning to buy it. I didn't get talked into it. I basically in the week watched some Let's Plays of it. I'd previously just watched the kind of Games Workshop overview with the man with the voice that's really deep.
Oh yeah, that man. Yes.
It's like in your activation phase, you have whatever that guy. And I was just like, man, this game's garbage. I actually watched some people playing it, and I sort of discovered, so when you looked at the photos of it, you were excellent.
Sorry, you cut out there. You were what?
When I looked at watched them playing,
Yeah.
I noticed that your complaint that there were too many tokens,
Yeah.
is kind of correct in that there are a lot of tokens, but a lot of them, in fact, 3 entire types of token, are just not needed. They're there for if you have a terrible memory. Basically,
Well, okay, so I need them.
well, no, because it's really quick as well. Like, I don't know what they're for, other than just to in a tournament setting to make it clear what's happening.
They're for the
in, a friendly game-
90-year-old Shadespire player.
Yeah. Basically, there's 3 kinds of tokens that you don't need. The first one is the activation tokens. In a round of gameplay, each player has 4 activations. They can do 4 actions. After you do an action, you flip a token. Just be like, I have spent an action. Literally the most pointless thing in the world. Just remember the number 1. Then there's some tokens that remind you of what models did. So because you've got 4 activations and it alternates between people. So I say I attack with this dude, or I move this dude, or I draw a card. Some things can't be done twice, so a character can't charge twice in a turn. You can sort of get around some things, but you put the token down that says this character has charged this turn. You don't need that if you can remember it. And there's a similar one for some of the other actions you can do. That's most of the tokens you just don't need at all, which makes the game a lot quicker to just look at and understand what's happening, I feel. And I played 1 game of it at Warhammer World because the models are all pop fit, push assembly. I took my plastic snippers, snipped out the models, assembled them.
Slippers with the snippers.
Yeah. We played that at lunchtime. I played as the Khorne guys, and Icarus played as the Stormcast guys.
At lunchtime at Warhammer World.
In Bugman's, yeah. It was great.
God.
And it was really fun, actually.
Do you know that I found my, the flask I bought, the hip flask, which I lost?
Oh, really? You lost it?
Well, yeah. I think I told you this at some point. I lost it. I immediately after I bought it, really quickly. I think was it in the move back to Bonn? No, not to Bonn, to Hanover.
Okay.
Anyway, I found it in this move.
Nice.
So Katie was like, it's been around all the time. It's like, where the hell was it? I got it. It's
you have so many uses for it.
It's on the shelf now. Sorry. Really happy about that. Got Bachman's logo on it.
I played 1 game of it and I lost terribly. The game is sort of it's vaguely a kind of control point thing. There are areas that you get points for. There are other conditions for scoring points, and there's a bit of a deck building thing going on as well. But it's quite simple. People said it's like more suitable for kids than say X-Wing, which I guess makes it more suitable for me because I'm really stupid. And I really enjoyed it. Like, it's quick. I think we played a game in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And yeah, totally would recommend to other people who are like vaguely interested in a based skirmish combat thing. The models are really nice. Like, on like close inspection of them, you can just see that like these are really nicely done. The kind of Sigmarine lads, they are generic kind of. There's nothing really super interesting about them. They're not like very dynamic thing. There is a lady Stormcast. Her name is Angharad, and I get a bit triggered every time someone on the internet calls her Angharad.
What? Why?
Because they're just putting the emphasis on the H, and that's just not how you do it in Wales. Because it's a Welsh name, and I'm like, I went to school with people called Angharad, so I was like, that's just a normal name.
How do you spell that?
God. Let's write it down. Angharad. So I went.
Wait, can you put that in the show notes?
In
In the running order. Sorry, I didn't actually know that's called a running order, but apparently it is.
Some podcast, like someone got feedback and
yeah, of course,
running order, and I'm just like,
so how do you say that?
Angharad.
Angharad. I think there's a character in Pillars, right?
Yeah.
That because or something, because Pillars is all Welsh.
It's
apparently.
like it means like favored one or something.
You don't. I still don't believe you're from Wales. You never sound like that.
The thing is, I grew up with people called Angharad, so just
okay, maybe
at
you
it,
are
like,
from Wales.
that is like just a name to me. Like that.
Really, that's
name.
just a name.
Why would someone find that difficult to say? I mean,
Looks like something from KOTOR.
Just like you can see their face go, and then there's this person. And it's like, okay, fine. So
okay, that must be like me growing up with umlauts. And
yeah, exactly. Like, oh god, of course the N.
Have you seen
to each other?
the hilarious Reddit thread with like?
Oh, is it the one with all the different
Six?
kinds of economy?
No. There's like a Rainbow Six. Somebody posted like a picture of like apparently I think the Rainbow Six classes.
Uh-huh.
And so basically, it's like a picture of the soldier with in huge letters the name, right? And then so there's like the little above the name is like the class icon, centered, and so there's this guy. It's like,
oh no,
why are there two little dots under my class icon? What does that mean? And he didn't realize that, it's just the German, it's apparently from the German special forces or whatever, and the class is called Jäger, which means hunter in German, with the A umlaut.
Nice.
And the dots are not, they're perfectly aligned with the left edge of like his icon. So they're not actually part of under the icon where you put like, like kill counters or whatever you'd think. No, it's actually the dots from the umlaut.
That's perfect.
It's hilarious. See if I can find that again, put it in the show notes.
I think the point I was making is of the three Stormcast you get, Angharad is kind of like the most interestingly posed one.
Is it a guy or a lady?
It's a lady.
Okay, because I don't know, and Angharad could be anything.
It's a lady. The Khorne guys are like super like dynamically posed. There is one guy who's probably my favorite. He's got like a double-headed axe in one hand, and it's attached to his arm on a chain. And the idea is that he throws axes and pulls them back. So he's like the one guy in the core set who has like a ranged attack.
Oh god, I got these axes in War of the Chosen now. I can like from that one DLC, NextCom.
Yeah.
So my rangers do the exact same thing.
They're cool, aren't they?
Great.
I've not got that expansion, but some of the Let's Plays have those. So yeah, the kind of Khorne ones have got like more interesting poses, but I think they're kind of less powerful. Even the guy in like the store guy in Warhammer World was like, "Yeah, I play Khorne." I'm like, "Cool, I'll play Khorne, and then I can use that as my excuse."
Have a look at the link I posted just so you can see the picture. You really have to have the picture of this. The funny thing is, so somebody posted that, and I read like his thing, and I couldn't tell what he was talking about.
Right.
Because it's like with your Angharad, for me that just obviously belongs to the name.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see. I can. Yeah, if you're not aware of like umlauts as a concept, I can see you getting confused. But it's very clear from all the kind of extent of the icon is the square box.
It's all, but they're so perfectly aligned. They could actually be other.
Yeah, that's ridiculously. Yeah, plausibly, if you could have that on its own, and you wouldn't think it's too weird. That's very weird.
Love shit like that.
Good work, designers. So yeah, the game's cool. There are expansions, which I believe some of the Sheffield lads are getting. There's skeleton ones that you can get. My only issue with it is so the game can do like 4 players, which is really cool. And they're like, at the moment there are 4 factions you can play as, so that's really like quite thematic that everything can be different. But to do that, you do have to have 2 core sets. Because the game is designed as 1v1, primarily 1v1. But you can kind of like expand it to have more people. And we'd quite like to do that.
Well, it's Warhammer shit. Like, don't complain that you're spending money.
The idea is that each person is going to have like bring half of the board themselves. So I bring my board and I can like pick one of the 4 sides that, there are 2 boards each. there's 2 boards in the core set, and you can pick like there's 2 sides on them, so there's 4 sides.
Oh, so you put them all together, right?
You can, well, yes, you can put the 2 together to form the battlefield. The idea in 4-player is that like you miraculously get 2 other boards,
Right.
which means you have to get the core set, and no one on eBay is selling the spare ones, as far as I can tell. Which is a shame.
By the way, I've just opened the second bottle,
Yeah,
and this beer is horrible.
Nice, good work, beer people.
Part of the brand. Ein Klüver geht immer. No, I am not sure about that.
0 out of 10 would not buy again.
It's pretty shit.
Yeah, so that's kind of like my issue with the game, is that like 4 players is a bit of a pain because someone else is going to have to buy another core set, which I think will be okay. But I was kind of hoping that like I could use it as a bit of a gateway drug for the people we play board games with at work. Like they're like aware of Warhammer, but they don't want to make the big jump. But I was kind of hoping that like this could be a cool kind of like, okay, there's 4 of us. We're going to like play these tiny games. Look, I painted the miniatures for you because I wanted to paint the miniatures. But it's just going to mean that like I'm going to have to get on the board. There are some people
it'd be pretty shocking if they were in the UK and didn't know about Warhammer. Like in Germany, lots of people know about Warhammer, but in the UK,
yeah. So like if you're my age and a bloke, it's very difficult to avoid war. I feel,
or my age.
Yeah, actually. Yeah. My age minus a bit.
Sorry,
so
but you can't.
I was hoping I could do that. But somehow I'm going to have to get an extra board. People are kind of theorizing that because the board's different, like the sides of the boards are different. They've got like different starting locations and like kind of different terrain. There's like impassable terrain, but it's different on each one. People are kind of theorizing that there'll be like an extra board expansion at some point.
Sounds plausible.
They've got the expansions right now for like the factions are quite reasonably priced. They're like 18 quid, and you get like all the cards you need and the miniatures, and they're really nice miniatures actually. But you don't get a board, so people are like theorizing that they'll just like add that at some point, which is cool because then it means I don't have to get another set. Or I don't have to sell someone else from the idea to make a 4-player game happen.
But there'll probably be like one of those ridiculous like limited edition, like the Blood Bowl things.
Maybe.
Balls,
I don't know.
Boards, and they'll be like sold out in a minute.
I'm not sure, because this is clearly an attempt at making a competitive thing like X-Wing. So they're doing the
so you're saying Games Workshop is doing Fantasy Flight?
Yeah, definitely. In that X-Wing is like a continuous thing, and there's like prize support from Fantasy Flight in terms of like if the store runs a competition, there's like here's some cool tokens or some extra dice or a limited edition model that's just like the same thing that you don't. It's not special and new and unique in terms of rules, but it's just like a cool different thing. And they're doing that with Shadespire. So it makes me think that they're taking it like more seriously. So they wouldn't do that kind of weird kind of like, that's kind of game breaking in that like if it were like, here's some new rules that are limited edition, it'll be like awful. It would be sad. So yeah, I'm kind of pleased with that. And then after lunch, I played against Jack, and he had his Harlequins. We did a 750 points of that. And
every time I think about you at Warhammer World and Buckman's, I feel angry. I know I should kind of, I should be happy for you.
Yeah.
But I'm just angry.
Well, it'll be a piece to know that I was trying really hard. Because I know that Ultramarines are really shooty. I was like, okay, I'll do that thing that people do on YouTube in the plays. I will bubble wrap my key units in infantry, and I'll maintain the zone of control of like getting buffs. And I'll castle. I'll just sit in the corner of the map.
I think that's word for word what the Codex Astartes actually says.
And just sit there. Yeah, sit there and shoot things, and it'll be great. And we were deploying lengthways on the table. I was like, this is great. It turns out the Harlequins are really, really fast. Really fast. They crossed like the entire board in like a turn. And then just got me in close combat straight away, and then just slowly destroyed me. It came down to I had my Primaris captain surrounded by the void flyer thing, void stalker star.
Word stalker, I think. Yeah.
That and 2 jet bikes just like flying around him, slowly stabbing him to
warp
death.
spiders.
No, the kind of like hovercraft 3-man.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I had my dreadnought as well. The captain goes down. The dreadnought tries to like take some guys down. Flamers are really good. This is the first time I've used flamers in New 40k, and they are, because they just auto hit. They're really good. Like very, very impressed with how well they worked. But that wasn't good. It was close, but yeah, destroyed. Mainly because I don't really. I think actually that weekend was the first time I actually charged a unit in close combat in New 40k, because I've kind of just been primarily shooting stuff. I didn't really know the rules, so I'm kind of like rusty on like. There's a kind of gamey way to play it of, tactically placing things so that you can then like pile into other stuff, and the order in which you charge to trigger Overwatch, and then actually how Overwatch works, because it turns out it's more niche than I like. They're technicalities that I didn't know about, but like I feel like I learned stuff, which was good. And then there was a big 1,500 point thing between everyone else apart from me, each with 750 points. It was basically Harlequins and Imperial Fists versus Khorne and Traitor Guard, and that looked quite fun. I had to leave earlier. I think they finished that at like 7:30, which is one of the cool things about Warhammer World now for the kind of winter months, is that on Wednesdays and Saturdays they're like open until 10 p.m. In the gaming table side, which is really cool.
I think I've just learned that I need to go to Warhammer World again.
Yeah, you do. It's really fun. And also, Chapter Approved came out. The kind of updated, like, what have they done? So it's kind of like how I vaguely see them updating the rules from now on. Unless they decide to like completely like restructure the rules, it's just kind of like going to be like the yearly update. I think it even says Chapter Approved 2017 on the front of it. Just like tweaking the points values of stuff. Lots of things got their points reduced. Some Imperial Guard stuff got their points increased. And they just sort of clarified some rules, like the thing about, so you got the command points that reroll dice. Before this, you could spend a command point technically before the game started to reroll your seize the initiative roll, which they've clarified you can't do, which is kind of big, I think, because first turn does mean a lot. Yeah, it's quite interesting. They've kind of not really affected Ultramarines much, because they've just had like a codex where they've clarified lots of stuff. I think all of the kind of Blood Angels and Dark Angels things that are in there are basically just reflecting what's in the codex. So that came out. Yeah, super good. Warhammermas was great. And then yesterday, I got a little notification on my phone, Google Assistant, that it had made a video of all the photos I took, and it is like kind of the
fucking assistant.
Cutest. Ellie's heckling me. She's calling it the nerd thing.
It's horrible. I'm with her. It's horrible. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's got like ridiculously bad music in the background, and it just like takes photos and does like.
I love the nerdy pictures of you at the end.
Oh yeah, when I was just taking portraits of people playing games.
Yeah.
Ben's looking super stern because he's like deep in tactics, and then I'm just drinking coffee because I know I have to drive home after that. So yeah, that's great. You should come to Warhammer World, Fab.
Yeah, I should. But the thing you didn't answer is Angry Gertrude good or bad as a unit?
Angry Gertrude?
Angered.
Oh, she's like a standard Stormcast person, so she's like, yeah. It's telling that like, yeah, the Stormcasts are pretty good. They hit hard and they have lots of health, and they just feel less fragile. I think. I wonder if so. When Joe has been talking in Discord about Shadespire, he said that everything felt kind of quite flimsy and dies quickly. Definitely, the Khorne guys do that. they die really fast. Yeah, if you want to like stay alive, play the people in power armor.
We need to stop calling them sick Marines, because they're obviously not Marines, because they have women.
Well, I mean, their space. They're literally in like the stars. They ride giant dragons, so it's fine. Fulminators or whatever they're called. They're ridiculous.
Yeah.
What is more ridiculous is that you're going on like a 6-month space exploration adventure, like a nerd.
Why's that ridiculous?
I don't know. Just it's ridiculously cool.
As I'm doing my Elon Musk thing. No, what's ridiculous is that I made a mission patch for it.
Yeah, it's a really good mission.
I'm kind of proud of it, though.
You should totally get that printed.
I was thinking about, like, no, you can go to, like, there's companies that make patches. Should totally get a patch and then put that on my flight suit. And that would be nerdy.
It would be great.
So I kind of got bored of Elite. Like, I haven't played, like, I didn't get bored, but I just didn't play it for a while. Mm-hmm. And now that I, like, the one thing that kept me from doing, like, I went to Colonia and that took a long time and I couldn't do anything else. You can't do anything else while you're out there. Mm-hmm. Like, can't do any, like, of the things that happen, like the community events and whatever.
Right, yeah.
But now that I have a second character, I can just do it with him, and just have the other guy go off. And so I sold a lot of my ships, and I bought an Orca, which is a very sleek, originally a passenger ship. I have a Asp Explorer, which is a good exploration ship, really good. But I want something bigger. I wanted an Anaconda. I could have afforded that, but as I said before, like, I couldn't, like, all the outfitting. I didn't have that much money, so I bought an Orca, and I did what in the Elite meta, as you would say, is called an Explorer build, which is ripping all the passenger cabins out of an Orca and just making it an exploration ship.
That's cool. It looks really nice.
It's a nice looking ship. It's got a jump range of about 30 light years now, which, like, when I flew to Colonia in my what was that, the went right out of my head, the name. God, I have to look up a list of Elite Dangerous ships, because apparently I'm an idiot. A Diamondback Explorer. Mm-hmm. I had 16 light years.
Oh, wow.
So that's almost doubled it now. And yeah, so I'm gonna go out for at least 3 months and then turn around. I'm heading towards Sagittarius A*, which space nerds like you will know is the dark hole at the center of the galaxy. Yeah,
so, like, are you gonna, like, I can't really remember how it works. Are you gonna try to get to the center, or are we just, like, head in that direction?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna try to get to Seg A, because I've never been there. Cool. But if I get there, like, before 3 months, I'll just keep going.
Nice.
Keep going on the other side of the bulge, basically.
And you've been you're planning on, like, recording stuff.
Yeah, I've been. I'm doing, like, a mission log thing.
You did the day 0.
I did day 1 as well.
Oh, I've not seen that one.
And I've recorded some stuff for today, which I'll probably release tomorrow, where I on mission day 2 almost ran out of fuel and would have had to call the fuel rats, which was that's ridiculous. Great. I did figure out now that they since I haven't played for a bit, there's some new features in it though. Like on the galaxy map, it now flags the last scoopable star now that you need to scoop to continue on your journey, and it also flags that up in your UI. That's pretty handy. And there's also for anybody playing Elite, the acronym is KGB Foam. Those are the stars you can scoop, like KGB FOAM class stars.
That's good. That's good.
Basically, main sequence stars, mostly.
Oh, that is a thing I know about.
Yeah. And also the other thing it has, which is quite well, they did a lot of stuff like for explorers apparently in the time. So when I was flying to Colonia, you could only do like 1,000 light year of jumps. You could plot only 1,000 light years. Mm-hmm. Now you can do 20k light years.
Wow.
Which is a lot better. And also it now actually has the neutron stars in the star map, and you can plot jumps. So the thing is, in Elite, there are, of course, then pulsars, neutron stars, which have these what are they called?
The big jets.
Yeah, the jets, right? The jets coming out. Like if you fly through that,
you get
it supercharges your FTL drive, and you can go like you can jump like a lot further, like 12 times as far, I think, in some cases. But the problem is, yes. So the thing is, neutron stars are very dense and have a very big magnetic field. So if you like a very strong magnetic field, so there's a radius around each star that you can't fly, and if you do that on a neutron star, you can get like destroyed, you can get crushed or burnt from the heat.
Yes.
So the problem is, while you fly through the jet, you lose all navigational control, and your ship just goes flailing around. So basically, you need to plot a course through the jet that will, like, with enough momentum that when your engine turns off and you just go wobbly, your momentum still carries you through and you don't get crushed, which is kind of hard to do. So I'm not doing that. You can go a lot farther and a lot quicker with that, but like the risk is just too big. Because what I'm doing now, I'm far out the bubble now. I'm 1,000 right now. I'm like 12,000 light years from Sol, I think, already. And if you so if your ship gets destroyed, you respawn at last station, which if you're going out that far, obviously hurts.
There's a bit of a problem because you run out of them quickly.
Yeah, and there's modules that can repair your ship, but they can only, I've got one, but it can only repair other modules. It cannot repair structural damage, and like if you get too close to a star and you drop out of hyperspace, you take like structural damage, or if you like planetary landings, that could happen. But
do you expect to see any Thargoids?
I hope not. God, I hope not. I don't have weapons. I don't even know. I didn't do any research. Somebody was saying that today on Twitter, and I just hope it won't happen. Like I hope they're just where the people are. I think they're only where the people are.
Okay, because was it about a year ago that they announced the Thargoids got revealed, and
what's
happening with that at the moment?
In the game, they're just since a few months, and there's like attacks and missions and shit, which I haven't researched as well because I wasn't playing for a while.
That's pretty cool.
Sorry, I'm completely distracted because I just went past Facebook, and on the last show we talked about Fjallraven.
Yeah.
So
Joachim.
Yes. What?
Doing the vote thing.
What? He's going to the polar bears? What's going on?
There is a competition to go do some sort of promotional thing with polar bears.
And Joachim's doing this. Of course he is.
Yeah, he's like entered the competition and he's asking fans to vote for him. So I voted.
I'll share this now, and I'll just immediately vote for him while we keep on doing the show. Yeah, so I'm doing that, and videos, they're really short, like this, only a minute or two long. I'm doing I'm scripting them. I'm trying with my scripting voice, and should be good down the YouTube channel. If you like it, just. How does that go? Like hit like and subscribe, whatever.
Hit like and subscribe.
It does a lot.
Let us know what you think.
Apparently, no, I don't need to comment. Just like it. You can comment if you want. Like, I know.
Oh no, I think the commenting is like an algorithm thing. That like.
Okay, comment, whatever. Just comment.
I think it's
any old shit.
It's very cynical, but it's not that like they want to know what you. I mean, I guess so. I think this is conspiracy theory, Dave. I think it's simultaneously that things that have comments like get put up the search ranking more. Also, every time they're going to go back to reply to the comment, they're going to like probably get another view out of it.
So I should also reply.
Yeah, like, subscribe, reply.
Okay. And I've just voted for Joachim. Vote for Joachim in the Fjallraven. We need Mike on the show again. Fjallraven Polar.
How I was saying it.
Polar. Fjallraven Polar. Raven. Fjallraven. They do the umlauts as well.
Oh, he's 5th in Nordic East.
He should be fucking winning.
I don't understand why he's not.
He's Joachim. I don't know. Who are the other guys? Like, who is...
Yeah, like, who else is, like, known?
Oh, I hear Windows booting.
There's a Windows 7 laptop getting booted up in the background.
Oh god, his photos. Like, his photos are amazing.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Oh, nice. It's a nice photo.
Like doing a kick.
Yeah,
right.
I like the second photo, with the fire. That's 8. Good. What's that other one with the shirt and the handbag? The last photo. He's wearing like an American... Wow, the hat. That is great.
That is one amazing hat. And he's wearing a Minions like pair of shorts. That's
I got that photo. That will get saved immediately. That's the best Joachim photo ever.
When I'm bored, that's going to be on my Twitter profile.
It should be. Oh, so good. Yeah. Anyway, that was your Sabaton content for the show.
It was.
How do we say? To the sky, see Carolus rise.
Your bi-weekly reminder about The Expanse, I believe...
It's out on the 7th, which is as we record this the day after tomorrow, so it'll be out when the show is out.
By the time you
download
listen to this,
Babylon.
it is out.
Persepolis Rising.
You can download and buy that.
I've already got it, like it'll be delivered to my Kindle.
Yeah. There's that. Also, you should read the Laundry Files. There we go. That's my weekly reminder to remind you to read good books.
They just remind me that I need to do the laundry. Whenever you say that.
Damn.
The laundry file sounds like something Katie's keeping when she's told me to do the laundry and I haven't.
Yeah.
Like it says here in the laundry files, is 368 times you didn't do the laundry, Fab.
That would be hilarious. The Book of Grudges.
Would be, laundry grudges.
The last topic is the one you put on. That is about a thing I wrote but hours ago.
Yeah, so apparently Netrunner's dead, but that was just link baiting.
I did.
Dead for you're not playing Netrunner anymore. You gave up on it. What's going on, Dave? Is this like a crisis of the soul? Is this?
I don't know. So I guess
you're getting to that age.
It had functionally been over for like a while, but now I'm just sort of accepting that I'm not going to be playing it realistically anymore at all, and I should just get over it.
What's next? Like Warhammer?
I guess it is that like that has filled the space that I once would have filled with like things like Netrunner, primarily because there is like a much better solo play thing. That there's a hobby to go along
where
with
you're painting
painting miniatures
dudes,
and reading the books and stuff. Whereas in Netrunner, it's all about, generally like thinking about the deck, but most of the time is spent playing. And yeah, I just like, since moving away from Sheffield, never really actually got around to playing it regularly. So it's dead. It's dead. The last little thing though is like, it just got me thinking about the kind of preserving digital media and content and stuff.
Yeah,
like
this
that.
was where it turned into a crisis of the soul kind of thing. There's like questioning society as a whole.
Yeah, so my kind of point is that like I'm gonna just put it in a box. I'm not gonna sell it because I really like it, and I would, if I moved or someone like moved near me and was like, Dave, we're gonna play Netrunner every week, I'd probably just be like, yeah, crack it open, let's do it. But I was wondering, like, so like you had your thing, like 3 or 4 years ago, where you like found your magic from when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Teenager.
Didn't I actually? I think I sent
that to a listener actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
really happy. I think in the US, didn't I? Send it.
Yeah. I was thinking like, what happens? So like in my theorized 2027 unboxing of like these mysterious cards from the year 2014, like the rules. So Netrunner is a game that is notoriously difficult to learn from the rulebook. the rulebook is designed as a reference guide to, like, once you have learned to play the game, if you have a question, you refer to the rulebook. It is an absolute god-awful way of actually learning it. A load of the resources on how to play are online. And then all the frequently asked questions and clarifications are also published online only, as far as I can tell. They're all like on the PDF on the website, much like Games Workshop does. And for a game like Magic, it's fine because, like, Magic is kind of unkillable. The only thing that might kill Magic is that, like, if Belgium and the UK decide that it's gambling. That's the only thing that would
if Belgium decides that, I don't think that's going to kill Magic.
Well, like, if you know, the USA and
it's going to kill Belgium most likely.
It'd be worse for them probably. But something like Netrunner that, you know, might not, you know, have a website in 10 years' time. How do I rely on getting those rules, questions, and resources? And I was like, whoa, holy shit! Should I just like download the FAQs and errata right now, print those off, and put them in the box at the same time, just in case? Because
Dave,
where's that going to be?
If that's gonna be our biggest problem in 2027,
yeah,
I think I'll be really happy.
Yeah, you got to, but you know, it then like leads
more
into,
likely in 2027. Petrol engines will be outlawed. Electric cars still won't work.
We'll be riding horses.
Because we want the batteries. We won't have enough batteries. Elon Musk will have wired up half of Europe, which like a tube transportation system that's even worse than Deutsche Bahn trains. And well, Angela Merkel will still be ruling Germany.
So
Brexit will have happened. There'll be a huge wall between Ireland and Northern Ireland.
Only finalize the details month in 2026.
Yeah.
So the important thing is that you have the clarifications for a card game to make you happy.
Trump will still be president.
He'll be like God King.
I will have to smuggle myself across the EU-Britain border regularly to get to Warhammer World, where you will have to shelter me because mainland Europeans will be outlawed in the UK. You'll have to like, there'll be like a Anne Frank style hideout for me to get my Warhammer fix.
Wow, you went there. So yeah, that was my kind of thing.
Star Citizen will still not be out.
It'll just be like 20k JPEGs instead of 4K.
No. Oh god, we haven't talked about this, haven't we? No. We let's wrap this up, and we need to quickly talk about Star Citizen. Did you see what happened last week?
Yes, I did, and it's hilarious.
They now sell. Not only do they sell JPEG chips, they're now selling. No, get this straight. They're not selling land. They're not even selling virtual land. They're selling vouchers for virtual land on virtual planets that do not exist in a game that barely exists. So if you buy for $50, you buy a plot of land, you get, when they finally, at some point, presumably put that feature in, you will not have to like grind to get a plot of land or buy it with in-game purchases. You will be able to get a plot of land, which means you can fly somewhere, put a beacon down, and then theoretically you got a claim on that land. But somebody else can still build their shit on your land, except it will be illegal. And then the in-game police comes and whatever. And then you'll have to try to evict them from what is your property, I guess.
Yeah, it's literally the most ridiculous thing.
And they launched this right in the middle of the whole loot box. People basically getting, like, after the EA loot box thing in Battlefront, people were having just fits about shit they don't like in other video games, like abusive business practices. Which is the week, basically, that Chris Roberts picks to launch this shit. the only way I can explain how SIG didn't get like ripped a new one collectively by the gaming press is that all the games journalists are like really fed up with writing about Star Citizen because they don't want to be seen as like negative or whatever, which of course didn't stop me. Like I wrote about this because it's ridiculous and people need to know how ridiculous it is. I mean, what the actual fuck? Seriously?
Yeah. It's bonkers.
It's unbelievably bad. It's like that thing where you buy somebody a star, right? Which is like
you buy someone a plot of land on them.
Yeah, or like a whole star, and you're like, that star is like how many hundreds of light years away? It could already be like gone, like it could have exploded, and we don't know. Might be full of aliens in battleships. When you turn up and say that's my star, they're gonna vaporize your ass. Like that's ridiculous. And now they're selling virtual stars. What the fuck's going on, Dave?
I don't know.
So okay, in 2027 that will all be worse.
It'll all be fine.
Let's go to the except the Netrunner situation, of course. We will revisit this in 2027. Geek News Radio will be on the scene to talk about the Netrunner situation with Dave.
Indeed. We have had quite a bit of feedback.
Some nice feedback.
Through the tweets and the Discords.
Yep. So I wrote that blog post about GNR and I didn't want to sound like I'm complaining, but I was reminiscing a bit how like the show is different than it was and that it's actually work. Like we like to do it, but it's work. And people said they appreciate it, which is great. Gave me a warm, fuzzy feeling. Nicholas, who's always there to support us, which is great, said, thanks for the 2 years. I listened to every episode so far, which means you brought me many hours of entertainment. If you ever decide to pick up the pace and turn it into a more profitable operation, ka-ching, my wallet and I will be there. Until then, hack the planet.
Hack the planet.
I was playing XCOM the other day, and my hacker specialist hacked a Advent access node and said, hack the planet.
Nice.
Which makes me think of you all the time. So then Eternal Beast with a 3 replied to that and said, I'm right there as well. I think this would be one of the only podcasts I would be willing to pay for as well. That's crazy. So much fun and entertaining. Keep up the good work. Now let's see what else I can put in here. Since Twitter increased the character limit, I could probably write a dot. That's it. Love that hot take.
Good use of bonus characters.
Band received. Pepper Johnny said, thank you very much for the probably 100 hours of entertainment so far. I really like the rants and bands and hope you'll make at least 2 more years. But here's to a few more. Cheers. And we were talking about this on Discord, and I can actually look this up. I posted this on the Discord, but I'll look this up. Because of Podlove, I can tell you that the average length of a GNR episode is 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 1 second. And so far we have released, and this is the first 50 episodes, we have released 4.4 days of episodes.
That's outrageous.
117.4 megabytes the average media file size. That is 5.8 gigabytes. And 14 days the average interval until a new episode is released. We are right on track.
Banging.
Which is great.
Dave Allen seconds what Pepper Johnny says as well, which is cool.
And then Nicholas chimed in. You gave, again, later, you gave away an elite key. Damn, I need to speed up my podcast consumption.
Yes. Yeah, a little bit. It did go ridiculously fast.
Yeah, so...
Just good.
Terrell was right at that.
Yes, Terrell got the... response in quickest through Discord.
Speaking of Discord.
Boom.
I was setting you up.
Oh, damn.
I need to drink. I read so much. I need to drink some of this horrible beer.
Paddy Mansell was also salty that they missed the Elite Dangerous gift, but says congratulations to Real. Sorry. Nice that Faddy's also joined the Discord.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because I've not seen him there before, I don't think. Nicholas MM chimed in on the Confluence rant we had, because I was moaning about Atlassian, you were moaning about Confluence, and he says, oh man, a tiny Confluence rant. Can this show get any better? Confluence is so slow and the editor is so fucking unusable. Just use fucking Markdown. Yes.
Holy
correct.
second, just use fucking Markdown.
Yeah.
Problem's been solved.
If only, because it's got like a weird kind of Markdown thing that's not really, and it's got some features like cross-linking things, but then you're never sure what it's actually gonna do.
I was saying earlier in Discord, they use this at work to plan like the big digitalization thing for the whole company.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking poetic because it is in itself a glorious digitalization fail. Like, I don't know, that's like planning how to design the next generation infrastructure hyperloop thing, and you're going to the meeting in a horse-drawn cart. Which works better than a Tesla. I have to give him that. Anyway, so Basil Will also congratulated Tyrell. Says, shame I missed it. I could have. Hey, you're highlighting something I can't read. Your name's in the way. Move your cursor, thank you. Shame I missed. That never happened in Google Docs before. That's weird. Shame I missed it. Could have passed it on to my nephew, who I mistakenly bought Elite Dangerous on Xbox. So we can't play together yet. Yeah, I don't know if they ever will do that. I don't think it's a technical limitation.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I think it's because they'll get slaughtered by the HOTAS master race, and Frontier doesn't want that. And I think, it's a hard galaxy out there. People who do not use a HOTAS, it's their own fucking fault.
I will counter that with, I think that it is not a compatibility like engine wise thing, but in terms of like patch level, in that they can push out patches to PC users way quicker.
It could be. Also, I say this, but there is a HOTAS for the Xbox, and actually, it's actually very well supported in Elite. They keep, I see like in the patch notes, I see them mentioning it. So, and they keep promoting it. So you can now have a permanent HOTAS on the Xbox as well.
Yes, you can. But I think the only reason I can think of them not really, I mean, other than it's probably not a killer feature and no one really cares that much, other than like edge cases, is that so if each patch needs to go through the kind of loose sort of assembly of tests that Microsoft has as certification, that'll still be a lot slower than just pushing it out to their servers.
Look at that. It's software engineer Dave talking.
Bam. That's my theory anyway.
I say, Dave, you and me, we're good-looking guys.
Uh-oh.
Hot ass for life.
Oh my god. That would be such a good ending.
But we need to do the contact details.
Exactly.
Damn it. I'll just repeat it later on.
Just fix it in post.
People won't realize, oh no, it's me who's drinking. Damn it.
You can contact us for all these lovely tweets and Discords and sometimes emails. You can email the show at gnr@sixgun.org. You can tweet us both at Geek News Radio. Fab is at
Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra Hotel.
Bam. And I'm at Megaslippers. We've got the Discord, which we keep mentioning because it's free.
It's good. It's good. It's good stuff going on. I'm in there now.
Like ludicrously busy in the last week. And Fab's like actually like present now. I think you kind of scared people off a little bit when someone like atted you like too much.
Yeah, I think I was probably replying to that too strongly.
But you're back, and
I'm back.
You're not shouting at them. We've got a YouTube. Where
No, I don't want to shout at people. This is like really relaxing at work. The problem is I sometimes don't remember to turn it on because I'm so busy at work. But I will endeavor to be better. And I didn't want to scare people. Sorry.
And as part of being better, you're posting lots of pretty videos on the YouTube channel.
It's all part of a new monetization scheme. Look out for loot boxes, T-shirts, hats. People been saying we should have branded hats.
Branded hats.
No trilbies though. I boycott the trilby. It'll be a proper
if you
fedora.
Want that, you should rate us 5-star on iTunes. And if you can't do that, you can't buy our like gold-plated like replica like elite dangerous ships. Then just tell a friend about the podcast. That's really meaningful.
You need to subscribe on YouTube. I want to have 1 million subscribers. I want that golden button that Air Force Proud has.
Yeah, that's a good button.
That's a good button.
Hack the planet.
HOTAS for life. For life.
Oh man, that there's something in that beer that's not good, man.
It's horrible. It tastes like this. Actually, this tastes like this. There's like dead fish heads in there.
Why did you keep trying it?
Because it's beer. It's alcohol. It's right here. What should I do? Not drink during the show?
Something else, maybe? I don't know.